What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and it's time for episode 18 of 5 Questions with Levi. Man, 18 weeks of this, and we're still going strong. But before we get into the episode, a couple of things. First, as usual, if you are new to the channel or want to ask me a question, leave a comment with a question down below, and I will do my best to make it happen for episode 19 next week. But also, I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner of the NASCAR Heat 3 Hot Pass code giveaway. And that winner is Spidey Ditko. Thank you for commenting in the video yesterday, and be sure to contact me either on Twitter or probably best to do it through Twitter via DMs or whatever, and I will send you the code and have fun with it. So there you go. Congratulations to Spidey Ditko for winning the code to get the 2018 NASCAR Heat 3 Hot Pass. But without further ado, let's get to the questions. Space Metal Ferrari 248 asks, what are your honest thoughts on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films? Well, my honest opinion on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, like Spider-Man 1, great movie. Spider-Man 2, amazing, and I used to think it was the best Spider-Man movie of all time until Spider-Man Homecoming came out last year. So, yeah. Spider-Man 3, on the other hand, it wasn't terrible, but it was such a clusterfuck because they tried. The big problem with Spider-Man 3 was the fact that they tried to overstuff it with villains, and they didn't do a good job at balancing the characters. They tried to do New Goblin, Sandman, and Venom, and it just didn't work out. Now is where we get into the MCU villains or movies that have multiple villains. They at least give them a good enough story and balance their screen times properly, which is why some people are kind of skeptical about the next one, Spider-Man Far From Home, next year, because they're going to have Vulture again, but they're also going to have Mysterio, possibly Hydro Man, and a couple other people. And the reason why is because they're setting up for a Sinister Six team-up for perhaps the third Spider-Man movie in the MCU coming in a few years, if Sony renews their sharing arrangement with Marvel. And considering how big of business that the MCU Spider-Man has been, they're going to keep that sharing arrangement going, so there's no problem there. But first two Tobey Maguire films, great. The third one, That's basically my thoughts about that. Daniel Rafael De Jesus asks, what is your thoughts about 70s, 80s, 90s hard rock and heavy metal bands aside from Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, and Slayer? More like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, Led Zeppelin, and Anthrax. Well, Guns N' Roses, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated bands of all time. I don't think they're terrible. Like, I like some stuff from Appetite for Destruction and a few songs from the Use Your Illusion albums, but as a whole, not really. And it's mostly because Axl Rose had to be in control of everything, which is why I can't stand Axl Rose despite how great of a voice he has. Bon Jovi, kind of the same scenario, only except nothing to do with creative control. It's just I just never have been a big Bon Jovi fan. Aerosmith, total respect for Aerosmith. Def Leppard, I do like some stuff. Zeppelin, you can't go wrong with Zeppelin's influence. And then Anthrax, one of the big four of thrash, you know, and definitely the most underrated of the big four, because not a lot of people give Anthrax enough credit, because they were one of the first that started out doing this style, along with Metallica and Overkill and Exodus and a couple others I'm forgetting off the top of my head, that started in between that 79 to 81 time period. And also Anthrax helped kind of create rap metal back in 87 with the song I'm the Man. So total respect for Anthrax, plus I love their 80s catalog, from Fistful of Metal to Among the Living and stuff here and there, Persistence of Time. Even their newer stuff has been getting a lot of acclaim. So that's basically my thoughts on all those bands that you mentioned. Start McCleary asks, Who do you think is the best and worst commentators of NASCAR? Best commentator in NASCAR? If we're talking currently, the best commentator that's there all the time, in my opinion, who I think does his job, who does a solid job, that's Steve Letarte for the NBC booth. Worst currently, Dale Jr. I just don't think he's cut out for commentary. If they wanted to put in a former driver in the booth, get Carl Edwards. He knows what he's doing he knew what he was doing when it came to commentary. So, yeah, that's basically it. But if we're talking of all time, the worst of all time, I really don't know. Maybe Michael Waltrip. I don't know. And then for best, probably either... I really liked Benny Parsons on commentary, or Ken Squire, from what I've heard of him from back in the day. So, there you go. Chris Barnett asks, my favorite Adam Sandler movies are Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Big Daddy, Anger Management. And what's your favorite metal bands from hair metal to thrash metal to metalcore, new metal? Well, if we're talking just those four genres, subgenres of metal, my favorite hair band would probably be Motley Crue. Thrash, Metallica. Metalcore, my favorite metalcore band, well, if I were to name a favorite, it would only because they had one, maybe two albums instead of a whole catalog. But if I were to go with a band that's had a whole catalog that I like in metalcore, it would probably be Killswitch Engage. And then for new metal, Korn. Even though I don't listen to a whole lot of new metal, but nonetheless, those would probably be my picks. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Billy Bishop asks, are you going to buy Spyro Reignited Trilogy for PS4 or Xbox One when it comes out on November 13, 2018? And that does it for this episode of 5 Questions with Levi. Episode number 18. Next week is episode 19, and oh man, that's gonna be interesting episode, depending on what questions you all have for me. So, yeah, this was a bit of a shorter episode than usual. Well, you know, a couple questions had pretty short answers, especially that last one. What the hell is Spyro Reignited Trilogy? I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this episode, and once again, congratulations to Spidey Ditko for winning the giveaway for the Hot Pass code for NASCAR Heat 3 on PS3. Like I said, if you're watching this, be sure to contact me on Twitter via DMs. Direct message me on Twitter if it's enabled. I believe it is. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out, and I will see you soon, and hopefully my ear will be opened up.